Hello, this is Jones, or who am I speaking with? Quarter life crisis? Stay the heck away from me. Don't call me again. I don't want to hear you. Forget this number. No, seriously, forget this. I'm not going to listen to you. Forget this number. God. But seriously, Gen Z is having a quarter life crisis, and we need to talk about it. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about a quarter life crisis. Gen Z suffers a lot from burnout and stress related complaints. How does this happen? The opinions of people are divided on this. Do we just need to suck it up and move on with our lives, or is there more to it? And what exactly is a quarter life crisis? Stay tuned because this video covers it all. So what is a quarter life crisis? It's a little bit different than a midlife crisis because a quarter life crisis is something that happens in your 20s or beginning of 30s, and it's a lot. So what basically happens is that you don't know where to go with your life. You don't know which direction to go in. You don't know what's good for you, what you want to do, what your purpose is. It's horrible. These are some signs of a quarter life crisis. So this website states that if you have a quarter life crisis, you feel like you're wasting time, activities feel meaningless, and you don't have a sense of purpose. So like I said before, you've also lost motivation, especially for the things you love, and you are lost. Maybe you might even think that they are not good for you anymore, and also you're fatigued or more stressed than usual. You basically don't know what your next step is going to be in life. And that basically sucks because it seems like everyone has their life together and you don't. And that's basically how shitty a quarter life crisis can be. Also, you may have a problem with making decisions in your life because you feel like no decision is good enough and you're basically doubting everything. And I have to admit, this age phase thing is really confusing because there's so much going on, which we are going to talk about as well. I want to know. I want to figure this out. Yeah. So before we're going to continue, I want to talk about the age range of Gen Z because I really didn't know, and according to each website it's different when you are part of the Gen Z club. This website states that if you're born between 1997 and 2012, you are Gen Z. Between the age range of 12 and 27, you are Gen Z. Everyone from 25 till 27 is basically, well, not everyone of course, but some people heading towards their quarter life crisis. And sometimes I also even saw that on TikTok. There are people who are younger that are entering that phase. Part of what I think that is going on is expectations. Because I feel like we have so much expectations of ourselves, but also other people have expectations of us. I saw this video on TikTok where there was a girl and she went to this reunion, and each one of her classmates were talking about how they became really successful people. They became doctors, I don't know, entrepreneurs, all these successful jobs, right? And then they were asking her what she was doing, and she was like, yeah, I am doing something with communications, acting, I don't know, yeah, I'm not employed yet, I'm still living with my parents. And they were like, oh wow, okay, all right. She was talking about that she just wants the space to have the freedom to travel and I don't know, that sort of stuff. She just tried to make up a story so that it probably sounded better than it was, because deep down you saw that she was feeling miserable because she saw that all of her classmates really lived successful lives and it felt like they all had carved out lives already and it was so clear what they were going to do, and for her it wasn't. So she tried to come up with this story and they were like, oh my god, yeah, that's so cool that you're trying to pursue this freedomish lifestyle and that you still have some space left to discover what it is that you want. And in reality, it's really like that, because I think that people who already seem to think what they are going to do in life are sometimes even more unhappy than the people who have a lot of options open. Although it might not feel like that, like she stated in her TikTok. And I also think that part of the expectations is also about what social media is telling you, at least what the algorithm is serving you. The downside of seeing these people is that you think that you've actually failed because you don't know what you're doing with your life, and you think that they are way more successful than you, and that sucks. You feel like they got it all together, and meanwhile you don't. That's also what social media is doing, because it's great that we have social media and we can connect easier than ever before, but at the same time it really feels like social media is putting some expectations on you. It makes you feel miserable, to be honest, and it's not fair, because maybe your life was very different from theirs, so it's not fair to compare yourself with them, but at the same time you're going to do it anyways, because that's what social media shows you. Social media is very two-sided. There's a lot of good stuff on there, but there's also stuff on there that's like getting you down and lowering your self-esteem. At least that's my experience. But besides the fact that a lot of people seem to expect things from you, it's also not clear what you are supposed to do when you are in the age range of 20 till whatever. Is it ever clear what you need to do in life? I don't know. But this girl talks about it, and oh, that was my phone. Oops. But this girl talks about it on TikTok, and I think it's really cool because I finally felt seen, and I really was like, yeah, this is so confusing.
This is a check-in for the people in their mid-20s. How are you? Because when you're in this age range of 23 to 25, you're too old to be acting like a child, right? You're too far from 21 to be acting reckless. Can't be doing like the whole young, wild, and free thing anymore, necessarily. But you're also still too young to be doing the whole getting married and having kids thing, right?
And I also feel like part of what activates a quarter-life crisis is hustle culture, because hustle culture states that you need to work hard to be able to fulfill everything in your life and to get everything that you want. And if you don't do it, it's your fault. What the heck? How can that be true? Because everyone is coming from a different background, is raised in a different way, sources of income or the network that you had were not the same as someone who is probably more successful than you. So how dare you to state that the recipe for success is hard work only? I mean, yes, probably there's something to it, but it's also about who you meet, how you were raised, what you have been dealing with your whole life, what has come on your path. Some things are not within your control, and I feel like that's really overlooked. I feel like we are living in a society where everything should be possible, because if you think about it, if you dream about it, you can manifest it. It's not always like that. Not everything is just here for you to pick up and do something with it and become successful overnight. And because we get that example, because of hustle culture, we feel like we're doing something wrong, but we're not. No, we're not going to blame ourselves for that. It's just this toxic belief that you should do X, Y, and Z so that the result is always success. And no, that doesn't exist. Sometimes it's a portion of luck. Sometimes it's also a coincidence. Yeah, luck and coincidence can be two things that happen. And it's not always about conscious effort. Hate to break it to you. Another thing that can make you feel lost is the transition from study to work. I mean, what the heck? Why did no one tell me how that works? I mean, seriously, you are working towards something, so it's getting your degree and you working so hard for it, like many years, or not so hard, depending on what you do. But all of a sudden you graduate and it's done, and there you are needing to search for a job. And when you are finally in that job, you have another kind of structure, different kind of, well, there we have it again, expectations. And I don't know, all of a sudden you are a adult. What the heck? I really wish that someone had a manual for that, because that life is completely different. I mean, when you were in school, you had certain kind of holidays, and most of the time they were a few weeks in a row. And right now, you don't get that anymore if you have a job. I mean, you are very lucky if you can get 1, 2, or maybe 3 weeks in a row, but not longer than that. No, sweetie. You need to work forever. Are you going to die? Yes, love. No, I'm kidding. It sounds really terrifying. It is. But it's really different, and I feel like we should talk about this more, about how to change your routine in that and how to prepare yourself for that next phase in your life, because if you don't, you might end up feeling really lost and be like, okay, what should I do right now? Do I need to do this my whole life? Yeah. Not only the transition is hard, but it's also hard to find a job. Seriously, when I graduated, I was quite lucky. I got a job straight away. But I feel like it's not like that for everyone. I mean, not for, I think, 90% of the people. They really need to struggle and look around for a job, and they're actually very lucky if they get a job within the first few months after they graduated. Also, if they get that job, they are very lucky if they get paid enough, because most of them just get the minimum wage, and it just sucks because that means that you cannot afford a house most of the time and everything sucks, and you thought things were going to be different. Also, let me ask you this. Did you also expect that when you were younger, your life was going to look different when you were older? I really thought that when I was young and I was dreaming, thinking, visualizing about me having this age right now, that I would be really successful, have my own house, own a car, run a business, have tons of friends, and be so cool and happy in life. I thought adults had it all, but no, that was not the case. So that dream got shattered. It can be really hard to find a job. I mean, look at this video. This woman is trying to do everything about it to get a job, yet she's not getting it, and it makes her very upset.
I've ever felt in my life. I'm literally holding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? It's honestly a little bit embarrassing because I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs. This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. This sucks.
And I know there are people in the comments stating that she just should suck it up, or she should have chosen something else. But if I'm being honest, and this may sound spoiled, I don't care, okay? But I cannot be in a job which I don't like. I cannot do that. Especially older generations, I think, would tell me that I should suck it up, because when they were younger, they had to work all the jobs that they didn't like and blah, 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 blah. I did that too. I really did that too. I worked a lot of jobs which weren't my dream job, so believe me, I know what it is to be in a job that's shitty. No, it's not admirable, it's just shitty. Yeah, but to me, it's just not a good thing that you are just trying to numb your emotions and be like, yeah, I can do this, and you think you deserve praise for that. No, to me, it shows that you cannot deal with your feelings, and your coping mechanism is to work very hard to overcome all of these emotions. But guess what? They will stick, because emotions are there until you process them. Ooh, damn. We don't carry the whole solution with us, nor is society as a whole or companies. But I think that all of these things combined, we can actually contribute towards a solution. So first things first, I think there are a lot of things that could be done in the working and company area. I think that we should invent more jobs that are suitable for certain types of individuals, especially with a lot of neurodivergent people on the rise. And well, not actually on the rise, they were already there, but as time goes by, we see that more and more people are not fitting in because of their neurodivergency. So I feel like there also should be something for those kind of people, and I think the name for that was job carving or something. So basically with job carving, you split up certain functions and positions to create jobs for people with disabilities. And I also think that's not only a good solution for people with disabilities, but for every person, because every person is different and brings different strengths and, well, weaknesses or challenges to the table. Not only do they benefit from this, but your company will too, because it contributes to a higher efficiency and sustainable business operations. I think that part of the solution is also to accept the fact that we are all different and that you really need to sit with yourself and come to terms with that. So that it is okay, for example, that you don't have everything figured out, because that's really unrealistic and it might seem like some people have that, but if you look deeper, you can always find something, an area in which they don't have their life together. Not everything is what it seems. A lot of things are not what it seems. So it's really important to remind yourself of that, and also be very mindful about which social media you look at. Personally, I noticed from myself, because I started to follow more content creators that are actually real with me and also try to show the less perfect sides of their life, and I think that's really nice that they do that, because I finally can relate more to them. I feel like that are actually the content creators that I want to follow. It's also okay if you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life yet, and if you have something that's just temporarily. And the last tip is give yourself permission to explore. This is very important, because if we end up in a quarter life crisis, our first instinct is to stop exploring, just go lay in bed and think that everything is useless. But if I look back on my life, the most amazing things that happened were because I searched for new opportunities and started to talk with new people, try to explore what some different possibilities could be. I never sat still in my whole life. And I think that's really important advice, because that's how you actually discover how to be a little bit more happy than you were yesterday, and that's when you actually find out what fits you the best and what is appropriate and suitable for your life. So there are no magic tricks, only I want to say hard work, hustle culture, indoctrination. So I don't have any magic advice, but I think it's important to be gentle with yourself. So I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to give me that like so I will bring out more content. Also subscribe and click on the notification bells. Thank you, and I hope to see you the next time.